Plumbing Live with Q&A, Roger Wakefield, that is me. If you want to learn plumbing by receiving the best information, if you believe that your opinion matters and you want to hear the opinion of others, you're in the right spot. It's not just me. It is other trades professionals that are in here. We invite them in each and every week. Now, if you accidentally got in here because you were looking for something else, you caught this on a replay or maybe even live, you may go over to the YouTube channel and search what you're looking for. But if you want to hear from some amazing trades professionals, hang out. We are live. Jump in here and ask questions. We will pin a link up to the very top, which is a question form. Click on it, jump over there. I guarantee those questions will get answered. And I've just got to figure out how to pin it up to the top, and then we will be good to go. How is everybody doing today? Okay, it's already pinned up there. Ask me questions here. So anyway, we're going to jump in and get going. I hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. And today's a little bit different. And I thought I brought notes in. Now I don't even see them. We are talking about growing your own business. And what would you do, or what should you be doing to grow your business? And are you? And maybe it's not your business. Maybe you work for somebody else. And maybe they need to be doing some things that you may know about and maybe they don't. So I'm just going to ask you, is your company doing the things that it should be to grow a business? I want to turn off, make sure that I'm not going to beep or ring or blow up or anything like that. Is the company you work for doing the right things? Are they doing the things to help get you, your company, where it needs to be? Are they putting you in a position where you can get in and make all the money you want to make? And sometimes it's just making the phone ring. Sometimes it's training, education, all kinds of deals. But I got the link right up here for the questions. I think if I start that, it might pin it to the top there too. So maybe there'll be a couple of them. But I'm going to jump into the questions. Ridger family, how are you? Good to see you in here. Dwayne Johnson says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you. Cameron Johnson says, why is shark bite so bad? And here's the deal. I'm not saying it's bad. I think it's a good product. I think the way they're made, and I think the way that they educate people about them and how to use them. The reason I say they're bad, plumbers normally go back and fix a lot of leaks. And that's why whenever I hear plumbers actually installing shark bites, it's like, man, wait a minute. Sniper Boy 55 says, hey, Roger, why is my toilet sounding like water's not going nice and smooth noises near the fill tank? You may have a bad fill valve. Normally a flush valve won't make noises like that, but normally a fill valve can make some pretty bad noises. The wonderful Miss Kristen Gerst. How are you doing? Good to see you in here. You want to talk about one of the things I'm going to be talking about in a little bit when it comes time to grow your business is building your network, growing your network. And, Kristen Gerst is somebody that I have actually met at networking events, done podcasts with, done all kinds of good things. The neat thing about it is this is how you build a network. You build real relationships. And I started out networking in live, in person, at events, and I learned to carry that over into social media. So, what I'm going to ask as we go through this today is, do y'all get out and network? Do the business owners in here get out and network? And if you're not a business owner, ask your boss, hey man, do you ever go out networking and tell people about our company? Because it is an amazing way to grow a business. So, Miss Kristen Gerst, good to see you in here. Talk about a wonderful person too. Besides all that, she's just a great person. Uh Facebook user says, either way, I love you. Thank you. That's good to know. Oh, love watching you. See, and I just thought you loved me. Uh, Thank you. Glad to have you in here. Wayne Kapka, how we doing today? Says, I have a tankless water heater. It suffers the infamous cold water sandwich. Any ideas to remedy? Man, there's a couple. Number one, don't turn it off. It happens, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. I was actually in a tent, went glamping. If you've never been, oh my God, it is phenomenal. Went glamping up in the Acadia National Park up in Bar Harbor, Michigan, Bar Harbor, Maine. And it was really, really cool. Well, they had tankless water heaters there, and they had a pull down shower that you had to pull down and hold the chain down for the valve to work. Pre-mixed, so you had, oh my God, you had hot water. It was amazing. But the problem is when you let go, that tankless water heater shut off. So when you pulled it again, it felt nice and warm, which I knew what was coming. So I knew to step out of the way. But actually, I went a little further than that. I kind of finagled mine and hooked the chain. I know you're not supposed to, but hook the chain. That way mine ran continuously. There's two ways. You either don't shut the water off or you build a tank, and it can be like a little 6-gallon water heater. It can be anything. You can build a storage tank to catch it. That way it mixes in there. So any cold water comes in there and gets heated up. George says, hey, Roger, actually I have a question. Just had my cast iron pipe all replaced with PVC except for one area where the two toilets connect. Okay. Doesn't sound like a question, but maybe that is it over here. Nope, that is Zeke. So Zeke, I'll get over here to you in just a minute, just a moment. Georgia, I don't know why you would have everything replaced but that one little section. Don Johnston says, good evening. Good to see you in here. Anthony Parrish, how are we doing? George Patterson says, I'm noticing a smell in my basement. Then hold your breath when you go in there, because I know that could be bad. What kind of smell, George? Hello, Miss Kristen Gerst. And good to see your smiling face in here. Norton Plummet says, what's up, guys? Hoping to learn a few things tonight. Anything new is great. And anytime you learn anything, people laugh at me because when I go to conferences, and guys, I go to some of the biggest social media marketing conferences in the world. And now I'm looking at some of the biggest marketing. I want to grow. And when I go to these conferences, even if I go to speak and I don't have it, I carry in my notebook. I sit on the front row and I take notes like a big dog. And people are like, Roger, man, you're here. You're one of the biggest YouTube channels here, and you take notes continuously. I'm like, man, I'm here to learn. So I do. Norton Plumbing, I love that. Learn all you can. You may learn one thing that changes your business. And to me, that's what it's all about. Thompson Emmanuel, good to see you in here. George says, no, and it's not my sewer pit. Well, you never know. Nate Starr says, hello, Roger. Do they make a compact pipe cutter like a mini for 3-inch? I have a shutdown I need to do soon. Awkward angle and a shaft. I can't get square with a bandsaw. We'll have to use a sawzall. If you can't, number one, they make the wire, and they cut pretty straight, believe it or not. I don't think they make mini cutters for 3-inch. I know they make some that I think I've seen for 2, but not that. Miss Kristen, I completely agree. Great seeing you. Lakey Youngberry, how are we doing? Says, good day from Queensland, Australia. How are you? So it's early in the morning for you. I'm doing fantastic. Started some social media work to boost my company's network to the public with the boss's permission. Because is that a good step? It's a great step. What I tell people all the time is, look, social media is a way to build a community and communicate, connect with the people following you. So, man, I think it is phenomenal. It's a great way because it shows people what you're doing. And the neat thing to me is if you can show people what you're doing, either they're going to learn something or They're just either they're going to learn how to do something, or they're just going to watch it and say, wow, you know what? This guy knows what he's talking about. So it can be really, really good. Thank you so much for that. I don't either, but Mary, welcome. Good to have you in here. The importance of being descale your tankless, and that may be it. If you're getting a cold water sandwich while it's still running, it could be a flow restriction. Very good. That's why I love having everybody in here. I ain't got to know every answer. Most time I don't. I'm joking. No, I don't always know all the answers, so it is good to have other people. Wayne, you're welcome. Anthony Parrish, fantastic. Architectural Sheet Metal 101. Look, Architectural Sheet Metal 101 is a channel y'all need to go check out. I'm doing great. Thank you. Good to see you in here. Joel Gauthier says, hey, Roger, what's your opinion on the pack-out system as an apprentice? Mark Foreman says it takes too much space in the van. I tried using a bucket to blend in with the team, but I can't stay organized. Man, Joel, I got to tell you, I love the pack-out system. It does take up more space, but if you can use it for some fittings and other things too, you can combine space where maybe you would store other stuff. I mean, my pack out, it's out in the shop now. Man, it's waist high. It may take up a bigger footprint, but it's taller. And you're right, man. Organization makes it all worthwhile. Ron Wilson says, hey, great meeting at the airport Sunday. Ryan, it was. It's pretty neat. I went on vacation up to Bar Harbor, Maine. Had to fly on a little Cessna, which was freaking cool, from Maine to Boston. Of course, flights got delayed and pushed and all that. Literally, it was funny because I guess it was on the way up here. I flew from here to St. Louis and St. Louis to Boston. And Boston, I stayed overnight because I knew I had to jump. I had to go back to Boston, Logan, to get on this little Cessna to go over to Bar Harbor. So literally, my plane leaving Dallas gets bumped and bumped and bumped. We end up getting into St. Louis 5 minutes before my plane is supposed to leave. And I mean, literally, I get off the plane in St. Louis and I already hear them paging me because I was already checked in. So, Roger Wakefield, if you're in the airport, you better hurry up and get to gate 18 because your plane's fixing to pull away from the door. And I mean, I'm literally hearing this as I walk off of the plane. So as soon as I hit the terminal, luckily it was the next terminal over. I walked out, walked down about 50 feet, back in, and said, I'm Roger. I said, oh, it's funny because I walked up and said, hey, I'm A1 boarding. And a girl just started laughing. She says, yeah, that was 25 minutes ago. I said, I understand. So I'm at Ryan on the way back, again in St. Louis, got laid over for a little while. So I went and found a bar to find something to eat, drink some water, whatever it might have been, and ended up sitting there visiting Ryan. So thank you very much. Sniper Boy 55 in the house. Mr. Jeffrey Wilson, how are you? Says hello, here to learn from Bakersfield, California. Sniper Boy 55 says, hey, Roger, how are you? I am doing fantastic. I got to tell you, I love what I get to do. If y'all don't know that by now, if you don't see every day, I mean, number one, the trades are phenomenal, but number two, man, we get to take care of people. So it makes it even that much better. Nate Starr says, to give you more details, let me see. I have pipes that are too close to use a regular cutter. I have 2-inch copper return line, too close. Thanks, Roger, for any details. They're too close to use a regular cutter. You may have to get in there with a small blade, something like that. Could be a lot of different things. Salvador Hernandez says, hey, Roger Wakefield, wondering, do you ever do plumbing work for hospitals? Salvador, actually, I do. And the funny thing about it is I'm a med gas plumber. So I do. I get to do a lot of that, or used to. Not so much anymore, just because owning my own company and being a residential service provider, we don't do a lot of commercial, and that would get into it. And also me being The master plumber, I'd have to go out and do it because I'm the only one MedGas endorsed. So yeah, I do, just not much of it. David Martin says, greetings from Missouri, 24-year plumber here. My question is, started my business 2 years ago. What would be your best advice to grow my business? Would like to add some apprentices next year. And David, this is kind of what all we're going to talk about tonight. And man, like I said, I brought my notes in here, not sure where they ended up. Here's the thing. First of all, you got to build a network. So the very first thing I'm going to talk about is networking and getting out, building that network. This is going to help you gain customers through referrals. And it's going to do it because getting out and building a network, it's going to have other people talking about you, other people telling people about the service you provide and what all you do. That's going to be the first part. Later, we're going to talk about using video. How can you use video to communicate with people what you do and how you do it? After that, it's going to be how to use social media. And actually, I guess really those are flipped. You don't use social first, then video. But then it's going to get down to what words are you using? Are you using the words that people are looking for? Are you using long tail words? Are you using short tail keywords? What are you using? You know, anybody who's on Facebook and you know I'm over here on YouTube too. If you just go to YouTube and search plumbing, you normally find me. So that's kind of what it's all about. Corey Sammy Johnson says, what's up, Roger? Been following your videos, been killing it with my journeyman. Fantastic. Corey, anytime you can learn and grow, you're doing good. George Patterson says, sorry, my question cut off. Cast iron pipe was cracked. Had to have 12 feet of it replaced with PVC. Plumber said that cast iron wasn't cracked. Okay. Don't touch it. 2 connections to the line. So I have a rubber union between PVC and cast. A year later, smell sewage. Thoughts. This is from that. It's from that area. George, man, it's kind of hard to tell you. What I would say is if I'm in that far that I can already be at the pipe, I'm going to change it. It may cost you more, but as a plumber, I'm going to say, hey, look, we're already tunneled in 12 feet, 6-7 grand. Here's what it looks like. So you want to do everything that you can while you're there. Derek Pearson says, do you use rubber gloves cleaning to clean the bathroom? It depends on what I'm cleaning, what I'm wiping down. But yeah, I wear rubber gloves a lot. Archer Cipher says, just discovered your channel. I'm an inspector one day. I'd like to be a building official for a city. Every city requires this plumbing inspector's license. How do I get it without becoming a plumber? Archer, at least in Texas, you need to be licensed in at least one trade. I know that they're teaching electricians or HVAC people to inspect plumbing too. So I know that there is a crossover there. My question is, if you want to be good at it, why not become a plumber and then an inspector? I hope that helps. And you're welcome for the videos. All right, I'm going to jump over into the forum real quick, guys. I do have some questions over here. And I'm going to start. Actually got a few more now. Looks like we're noticing that's the link. If y'all want to click on it, make sure you jump over there and ask questions. I guarantee. You know, it's funny. I've got a lady in here. I'm just going to address it. Sharon Gillespie calls during a freeze a year and a half ago. We're getting 50 calls an hour. And when I tried to call back, Sharon, you didn't answer, but we were getting 50 calls an hour. It's hard to get to every one of them. So when I called back and you didn't answer, I'm sorry. But thank you and have a great day. There you go. Next will be how often. Okay, so this question is asked by Zeke Sanders. Zeke Sanders says, how often do new plumbers apprentices get called up in the union? Zeke, number one, this is a great question. So plumbers apprentices get called up on an as-need basis. What I would do if I were you is talk to the union hall, talk to the apprentice hall. Say, hey, how many union apprentices do you have on the bench right now? How often do they get called up? And when they get called up, how often do they stay out? One thing that I'll tell you, and again, guys, I'm answering questions over in the form. One thing that I will tell you is that these people have a job to do, supply companies with apprentices. But what I also tell you is they want hardworking apprentices. So you get people out there that work their tail off. So if you want to be the apprentice that, number one, gets to stay out, and I can't help you get called out any faster, but I would check with them, find out how often they do get calls out. But at that point, what I would say to do is you be the best worker that you can be and get out there as much as you can. And once you're out there, and it's funny, I heard somebody talking the other day, people are not trying to be the very best. So it's really easy to. Let me see where we go right here. Got to go to a stoppage. If there's a giveaway, I'll take two. Well, it may be whatever's in the stoppage. You never know. AJ Foster says, can you get an oscillating tool in there? And that's a good idea, but the oscillating tools don't have a blade long enough. I think you could get around to cut 3-inch width. Just my thought. David Martin says, appreciate your response. I am on Facebook, have been considering making reels showing what I do. And I got to tell you, reels work good for us on Facebook, on Instagram. Man, we've really done well on most of the social platforms we've gone on. Eddie Vasquez says, don't use rubber gloves to clean the bathroom. It's a waste of gloves, and I don't wash my hands either. It's a waste of water. Well, it kind of depends on what you get your hands into. Yeah, I knew you were kidding. Nate Starr says, thanks, Roger. I have my 6010 med gas also. Great skill to make money for a company if that person has a connection to that line of work. My advice to all who have it, keep it. Keep your certification up to date because it's something good to have. And here's the thing too, Nate, and especially about something like MedGas. If I had a journeyman with a MedGas endorsement, I could advertise that I do stuff like that and possibly send him out. So, and look, I love it. It's nice because I am probably one of the only, or not only, I'm probably one of a very, very few amount of people in the Dallas area that does service work and has a MedGas endorsement. I know I'm always in trouble. Look, Eddie, if I got somebody coming in making a comment, I got to reply. I'm not going to hide from it. Colton Casada says, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you very much. Eddie, you're a good man. I don't care what Nate Starr says. No, I'm joking. Do they make that for 3-inch? Nate, I was looking at that comment while ago. I don't think that you're going to get a long enough blade on the oscillation tool to cut that. But man, that would be a good idea. Zeke Sanders says, yes, thanks for your advice. You are more than welcome. Let me see. Zaphael, welcome back. Long time no see. Roger, have you done septic work? Any advice clearing out an old small holding tank? Thinking of trying small 2-inch semi-waste pump and flushing it with lots of water. 2-inch has the small filter holes. Zaphael, here's what I would do. I would possibly try to get a septic company to come out and pump it out. Man, the reason being, where are you going to pump all this to? At least if you get a septic company to come out, they can pump it out and go from there. Something else says maybe remove filters, toilet paper won't hurt the pump. And High Peaks Home says, how much time do you feel you spend on social media per week? Currently only using YouTube. Which other social would you focus on? Well, it depends on what you're wanting to do. It depends on what your purpose is. I came into social media with a goal and a purpose. And it's really funny because High Peaks Home, my first thing was to come in and grow a business. And I wanted to make the phone ring at the plumbing company. That's fun to do. because you're literally making content to teach people how to fix their own plumbing, understanding that if they can't do it, they're either going to call you, or if they're not in your area, which, think about it, most people who see my videos are not, these people are going to at least call somebody, but they're going to know what they're talking about. So that was my whole purpose behind it. And man, it's really been good. It's helped a lot, because even the people that don't call me now at least know what's right and wrong. All right, so back over into the forum real quick. I gotta get caught up over here, guys. Zeke. Okay, that was that one. Thought I got, there we go. Next, we've got Andrew Lambert. Says, why is my toilet full tank not filling smoothly? If it's filling, it's your fill valve. When you flush the water, it's the back left hand side. What goes down and comes back up, that's what allows the water in. And if it's making noises, if it's jumping, I mean, fill valves do a lot of different things. Got to remember, those of y'all just coming in, if you've got a question, jump up to the top. There's a link there where it says ask me a question here. Go over to the forum, fill that out. I guarantee all of those will get answered. If you ask questions in here, they're probably not going to all get answered. So Joe Van Patten says, I'm on a job where the tub gurgles loudly when the toilet is flushed. The tub has a running trap 1 foot downstream from the drain, and the vent is much further. Do you think the running trap's causing the issue? It's normally when you start getting gurgling, it's because of a clog. It could be a clog in the drain line coming out of the toilet. It could be a clog. It could possibly be in the trap arm where the running trap is. But normally, man, you've got a clog in there. You might be able to reach it with a closet auger from the toilet. I'd go in through there just to see if there's anything that you could get out there, and just kind of see what it does. You might also take a top sink snake, pull off the overflow, and try to go in through there. See what you can do. Next one, guys, and I am answering questions over in the forum right now. Ahmed Tur says, does the GI Bill benefits work for PHCC? Also, not a plumbing question, but what's your favorite car brand? I'm a bow tie boy. I am a Chevy driver, but I've also got a Jeep and a Harley. So, I'm not real super loyal, but I guess when you say car, Chevy trucks, Jeep Wranglers. Does the GI Bill cover work for PHCC? It should. PHCC is a Department of Labor approved training program. So yeah, it really should. I actually used to be part of the union, and I had an apprentice here that when he worked for me, he was able to supplement his income through the union, through the GI Bill, which was great. So I'm going to take some notes over here and make sure I cover the things I want to cover today. So first of all, we talked about building a network. And the reason I want to talk about that is, even if you're just a plumber and you say, look, one day I may want to own my own company, you could start going or reaching out to different networking groups. And I say that because networking groups are going to let you walk in and discuss what you do. Those of y'all that know me and have ever heard about my first networking event I went to, I walked in, had on a shirt, said Texas Green Plumbing, walked in, and people would walk up and say, oh my God, you're a plumber. I said, no, really, I'm a drug dealer. They'd laugh. And I'd say, okay, yeah, I'm a plumber, and we talk about it. But I'd tell them, look, I'm a drug dealer. This shirt just throws the cops off. The funny thing is, I come back in 3 to 6 months later, they'd be like, hey, you're the drug dealer. It's like, no, really, I'm a plumber. But networking and building your network, here's what that's going to do. If you ever do decide to open your own company, if you're not already a company owner, but if you decide to open your own company, now you're going to be able to come in and talk about what you do. And where that's good, you're going to start building relationships. And you saw Kirsten Gersten here a while ago. Kristen is a networker. She grows her businesses networking. And the cool thing about it is you meet people like that and you learn to talk about what you do, why you do, how you do it, and what makes you better than everybody else. And when you can walk in and talk about that all the time, when you start doing social media, when you start doing videos, when you start doing anything like that, you're going to be good at talking about what you do. You're going to understand your USPs, your unique selling propositions. What can you do better than everybody else? So, man, I love that. Building a network is a great way to start your business because number one, networking doesn't cost that much. If it does cost anything, I mean, a group I'm in right now is $79 a month. And I got to tell you, it works. It really works. Let me see. I already answered that one. I got lots more in here. Michael Taylor says, I have 3/4 inch copper from meter to house. Should I splice PEX to copper or replace complete line with PEX? Number one, if I was fixing a hole, if I was doing a spot repair and I wanted to splice it, I would upsize the PEX. The reason is the size of the fitting. So I would do like a 3/4 solder by 1 inch PEX. You're going to have about the same ID. Then I'd run 1 inch PEX over and do the same thing on the other end. If I was replacing the whole thing with PEX, I would upsize it 1 full size. This is going to help you with water flow. It's going to be a really, really good deal. So yes, I would probably replace the whole thing with PEX because if you're getting one hole, chances are you'll get another one. And I would want to make sure that I did upsize it. Eddie Vasquez says, my pops wants to know what you think about PEX pipe. Do you use it? Pros and cons. You know, it's really funny, Eddie, and I love these questions because I remember one of the first repairs I went and did all the way over in Keller. I get over there, we chip out the concrete, go down, dig it up, and I've got copper, I've got torch, I've got everything with me. And it's not really a repair, it's a remodel. And literally, I dig it up and it's PEX. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't have anything. I got my torch, I got a roll of solder, I got fittings, I got everything I need. So literally, I had to come in, cut a PEX line before it came up on a wall, tee in, stub it out, run lines over. But I got to tell you, I think PEX is going to be the way of the future. I love Uponor. I love PEX A, the expansion type. Man, I think it's good, but I like the expansion type because it doesn't have the reduced size fittings and there is no flow restriction in there. So yes, I like PEX, but if I'm an old school guy, I got to tell you, look, I think copper is going to be around forever, guys. Alex Prothman in the house says, have you gone all in with your YouTube channel or do you still run your plumbing business at the same time? This is a good question. And this is why I'm talking social media today. I still have a plumbing company. I sold my company to an HVAC company. I sold it to them, but I retained part ownership. So I'm still involved with it. The good thing is I don't have to stay involved with it all the time, meaning we've got a plumbing manager down there. I sold it to a company that is well known and well respected. So there's good people in there running things. And that helps me because I don't have to be so involved with it. So yes, I've gone all in on YouTube and other social platforms, but I don't have to do it the way I did. Lawrence Webb says, building a garage in the backyard soon, running utilities from home to garage, detached. Is it typical practice to run a wire over the water line in the ground for locating in the future? Just curious. I used to install water mains and we had to install a wire over the piping for future locations before we covered it up. Sorry, forgot to come to the forum for the question. You're good. Here's what I'd say, and this was in the forum, so I guess I'll see it over here in a minute. What I'll tell you, Lawrence, is if it was my house, I would want a tracer wire. Because if I ever have a leak or I want to add something to it later, I want to know right where it is. So I love the idea of a tracer wire, just like I would do on a gas line. But It's not required. At least it's not right now. My thing is, anytime I'm going to bury a line that I may want to find later, I want to be able to find it. So that's what I would look at. That's the way I would proceed with it, but it's entirely up to you. But I would also do that for a drain line or a gas line or anything I wanted to find. Tim Waters says, I work for a small family business. The owner is the father. He's been shut out from the company because he was doing our bidding after we lost our estimator. He kept bidding jobs low and no longer really knows what is involved in the industry. Is this a red flag that I should seek employment elsewhere? Also, he's our master plumber. Luckily, I've picked up the book and have taught myself how to do most of anything residential in a year and a half. Just wondering, what would you do? Man, this is really a good one because Tim, I'm going to tell you, number one, I teach people, look, always respect the people that are teaching you. I think that is such a big deal. But what I will tell you is, if people don't stay up to date and stay current, it's going to cost them. I would go in and talk to who do you think is going to take charge once he leaves? Possibly talk to them and say, hey, look, what are my options here? What are my possibilities here? Do I have an opportunity to grow, to learn, to do better? I would also think about, number one, where you're at, because in certain states, maybe you don't need a license and you can go to work for another company and roll out as a plumber. I would look at any option and every option just to see what I could do. Let me see. Gonna jump back over in the chat for a little bit. Scott Bagley is just curious if you knew, how do you clean mold and water scum off your bathroom tiles for your tub that won't come off when you try to clean them? Man, you need some kind of CLR, some kind of mold remover, a toothbrush, a grinder. Yeah, man, it all depends on how bad it is. Zaphael says, Roger Wakefield, the comments on your brazing video from HVAC guys was kind of brutal. Feel for you. They should really pony up and make their own videos. Here's the thing. I knew I was going hot with it because I knew I didn't have the right size tip with me. But you know what? Look, I got broad shoulders and a big butt. I can handle it. And for brazing too, they've also got, or should have, a purge inside. So that's where they're talking about burning it up because they'll get contaminants in theirs. Ray Rodriguez says, if we're redoing a bathroom, could our plumber easily split the shower line into two so that we can have double shower heads? Possibly. If you mean two heads off the same valve, you've got a better luck with that if the flow restrictor is in it. If the flow restrictor is in it. I'm looking at rebuilding my shower and making it bigger, but I want body sprays. I want rain shower heads. I want heads. I want the Moxie speakers. I mean, man, I want everything. So I'm looking at, what do I have to do to get more flow there? And it'll be fun. But my thing is, if you really want as much water flow as you can get, I would see if there's any way to get a full 3/4 line there. That way you can put in two valves and then branch controls for rain shower heads or not. More valves to isolate your body sprays. Man, you can really do good. Norton Plumbing says those little saws work wonders for cutting in small areas. Look up a rigid R3030, something that size with a battery. Tie it to your wrist though. Fishing them out of cavity sucks. Man, I bet. Architectural Sheet Metal 101 says networking. So let's talk networking real quick. If you've got a business in a town and you're the business owner, number one, have you checked out the Chamber of Commerce? And I want to tell you a funny story, because I started my company. I started my company out of my garage. I live in a little town called Saxe. I literally joined the Chamber of Commerce there. There were 5 other plumbing companies. And when I say a little town, this is a little town, I'm going to say under 50,000. Then I moved to Richardson, or want to move my business to Richardson, closer into Dallas. I call the Chamber of Commerce. There's no plumbing companies in it. So literally when I joined the Chamber, I'm the only plumber there. Man, that was great for me. But networking, Go to the weekly events, go to the monthly events, talk about your business. You'll find out how to network when you're there. Join master networks. You want to know how? Send me a message, send me an email, whatever you want to do. I'm the regional partner for Master Networks for Central Texas and Houston. And man, I got to tell you, I help people grow their businesses. Another good one is Network After Work. That's one that when I'm traveling around the country, I like to check and see if there's a networking event there. I love to get out and meet other entrepreneurs. So, man, it can really be pretty cool. Guys, remember there's a link up top to questions over in the forum. Go over right here, right there. Go over to the forum and check it out. I guarantee that I will get to all of those questions. Teammate says, hello, Roger. Thank you for introducing me to Quick Fittings. Are they available or going to be available at the big box stores? They are trying to get into the big box stores. I think they're going to more quickly be at some of the plumbing supply houses. Cool thing is you can order them on Amazon and they'll ship like bulk. I think you can get 5 or 10 at a time. But man, those things have been good. It's really, and that they surprised me when I went up there and tested them and saw what they did. I was like, wow. Josh Winter says, hey, just got accepted for apprenticeship for an apprenticeship at my local plumbing union in Chicago. Any tips for brand new apprentices and what jokes to not fall for, like left-handed tube bender or blinker fluid? Yeah, if you go looking for blinker fluid, you're on your own. There are no pipe stretchers. There are no square couplings. There are no things like that. Tip for a brand new apprentice, always try to be your very best. And look, I've made a lot of videos and put them on my channel. What I will tell you is go over there and walk in and try to be the very best every day. Try to learn. Try not to ask the same questions twice. Now, write down anything you learn. That way you can look back at it if it'll help you. Archie Cipher, how are you doing? Archer Cipher. Yes, I am over in the Richardson area. Actually, I've gone over to university there in Fort Worth and done some jobs too. So I've been around here for a while. Lawrence Whips is hoping to build a garage in the backyard. Got that one. Timothy Waters says, hello, Roger. Is it a red flag when you're a family-owned plumbing company? Yep. High Peaks Homes says, thanks for the response. Maybe I could send you an email to explain better. I'll tell you what I would do is take pictures or videos, put it in our subreddit or our Discord. Where is the... Thought it was right here. There's the link to our subreddit right there. If you'll go to subreddit, Roger Wakefield posts, put in pictures, videos, whatever you want to over there. It's not just me. It's the amazing Sean Strong. And I got a lot of plumbers that jump in there and ask questions and help and whatnot all the time. So that's a great place to put things. Safiel says, where would I pump it to? A field where a bunch of cow manure pies are at. I get it, but they normally don't want you to pump human feces out into an open area where it can get airborne. Don't ask me why. Nate, you're more than welcome. You have a great day, sir. Sniper Boy 55 says, hey, Roger, at my new house 2 years ago, had stuff backing up. Septic was clean. We dug over to see if there was a 90, found a concrete top, opened it, packed full of waste. No word from the old owner. And hey, the old owner may not have known. Scott Bagley says, I hope everybody in this chat is doing well. Hope everybody in this chat had a good weekend and all doing well. I know it's pretty hot in most places right now. Love you. So hope everybody's good. And here's the deal, guys. Look, and it is hot. How many of y'all, and y'all do me a favor. Tell me where you're located, what you do. Like, are you a plumber? Are you an apprentice? Are you a HVAC technician? Okay, so I just answered that one over here. Good. Tell me who you are, where you're working, and was it hot today? because Dallas has been over 100 degrees almost every. Man, so we're already hot over 20 something days this month. Already hot. Let me see. Right now, it's 104 here. Don't know if y'all can see that. Let me see if I can get that one there. Looks like my lights are too bright for it. Yeah, can't see it there. Maybe we can go here. Man, I'm getting too much glare from my lights. 100 and oh wait, watch this here, man. I know what I'm doing. Sometimes it just takes me a while to remember what all toys I have. Everybody, tell me what the temperature is or was where you are today. And I don't know why that didn't come. There we go. 104 today. And let's look down. Here's what the rest of. Oh, look here. Saturday is we're going to have a blizzard blow through. It's going to get down to 98 degrees. So man, I'll tell you what, they're actually talking about rain Friday earlier. So that's what my week looks like. What does y'all's look like? How hot is it where you're working? How bad is it? All right. So I'm looking good over in the forum right now. Dale Mathis, happy birthday to you. Good to see you in here. Zaphael says, I command. Should I spend money on a tutor for my union job? You know, Donnie Links, here's what I tell you. And this is just my thought. If I was in the union, now I don't know if you're doing commercial or residential or what, but I would go to my YouTube channel and watch every video there where I talk about how to do plumbing or things to do. There's only about 800 of them. You can probably watch 5 or 10 a day. Pretty easy. So it's not going to take you that long. But I'd start with all the ones under the how-to. How to become an apprentice, how to be the best apprentice, how to do things like that. That'll help you as you go through it. I'm going to mention code books. I'm going to mention study guides. I'm going to mention different things. At that point, start writing a list of what things you want. And man, I'm telling you, it might make such a big deal to you. Manuel Pont says, are you related to Mr. Klein? Just love your channel. I'm not related to Mr. Klein, and I'm not related to Tuttle Sr. at Orange County Choppers. And it's funny because Orange County Choppers and what's his name? The wrestler, Hulk Hogan. People ask me all the time, man, you related to them? So it's kind of funny. Zaphiel says, not to be mean, but I think Roger Wakefield has had his years as a plumber. I like other plumbers of similar age, probably wants to retire or do funner stuff. I got to tell you, I still love it. You know, and I don't think you're being mean, Zaphiel. Here's my thing. Tomorrow morning, I'm going out to do a leak detection job on an indoor water feature, meaning there's a guy who has a big enough, nice enough house that he has an indoor water feature. So it's a water, it circulates like a pool. There's pool equipment outside, goes through a filtration system, pumps it back in, goes through a waterfall and comes down. Pretty cool house. He's got a leak in it. So they had a leak before. Other plumbing company messed up a few things, did this, did that. I get there in about 30 minutes and find it. It's like, man, how'd you do that? It's like, well, I got the right equipment. Shout out to Laketronics. Thank you very much. A lot of plumbers don't understand how to do stuff like that. So what I'm going to say is I feel is, look, I still love what I do and I'm still good at it. So I'm not a lot out in the field anymore, but man, when I do go out in the field, it's to teach guys and train guys. So I love it. Timothy Waters says, I'm in one of the hardest states to plumb, I think, which is Kentucky. Man, I got to tell you, and look, I've never tried to plumb in Kentucky, don't know. But I had a plumber come apply for me that has his license in about 5 or 6 states in the center of the United States. Illinois, I think Kentucky, I think Missouri, man, 4, 5 or 6 states. He wanted to come to work for me, studied for his test, and he would come to work for me almost a year ago. He finally contacted me about 2 months ago and said, man, I got to tell you, Texas is the hardest freaking plumbing exam I've ever taken. Now, I'm not saying that to argue with you, Timothy, anything at all, I promise. And if you've got a plumbing license in Kentucky, dude, I am happy for you. I'm just saying, to hear from a guy that has 5 or 6 licenses and he's telling me, hey, man, look, the license where you got the state where you got your license is one of the hardest licenses I've ever done. It does. It makes me feel good because I don't think a plumbing license should be easy to get. Channel says, hey, Raj, can you be a plumber in the United States even though you live in another country like Jamaica? You probably can. It depends on what state you're trying to be a plumber in. Here in Texas, you're going to have to be here to take the test. You're going to have to do a computer test at computer testing facility. Then you're going to have to go in and do the practical exam. But yeah, you probably could be. Norton Plumbing says, can you talk a little more about USPs? How did you figure out for yourself? Did you buy gear, just fill out a market, or did you just work it out? I mean, here's the thing. I became a specialist in slab leaks and leak detection. When you become a specialty at that, you've got to know what you're doing. And the other thing about this, Norton, is that other people normally sub that work out. So I would start talking about, look, we do this ourselves. And other people are like, well, why do you do that? Why not just have the other people, the other companies that specialize in it? It's like, look, I became a specialist. I went out to California twice. I went to Florida once, studied 3 different kinds of equipment to find out what everybody was telling you. And now I'm actually even designing my own equipment because I want something better than what's out there. The big thing about it is, what are you willing to tell people? Are you willing to tell them, look, we guarantee our work for life? I used to tell people that. It's like, look, I guarantee the quality of our work forever. The materials I can't. If a fitting breaks. Now, I can guarantee the quality of my work forever too, but if you have foundation work done, I can't guarantee that. It's liable to pull it apart. Things are liable to happen. So, man, what can we do to tell people how good we are and how much we believe in what we do? And to me, those are your USPs. What are your unique selling perspectives? Your unique selling propositions? What are you willing to tell people? Hey, here's what I'll do. Michael says, thank you. No, thanks for keeping cool. I hope you're keeping cool. Man, we are, even though it's 104. Kimberly J back in the house says, hey, Roger, quick fittings available at big box stores. That they're not yet. They're working on it. But I believe right now you can order them on Amazon. Zafiel says, I'm installing a Bluetooth speaker in my showers to listen to podcasts. Use a router and face mask to extend the light fixture. Don't mess with handsaw. I got to tell you, and look, I'm bad. I've got the Moxie shower head, which I love. Bluetooth, hook it up to my phone. I've got an FM radio. I've got another FM radio, and then I got 2 FM radios that will actually sync together. I got to tell you, I love having surround sound in my shower. I listen to music in the morning. Sometimes I listen to talk shows, podcasts, YouTube. I listen to all kinds of different things. But I love having the sound in the mornings. So get back where I was. And man, it's a big deal. I want it to sound good. I don't want to just hear the music. I want it to sound good. I want to enjoy it. Timothy Waters says, I bet I have a picture you couldn't explain what's going on. 2 water heaters, 4 different types and generations of filters, and 2 water softeners. They wanted me to fix their water pressure issue. I'm sure you did, didn't you? You removed everything. It ain't rocket science. Man, I love that. Electrician here in Connecticut. Good to see you. I was up in your area. I was up in New England last week at Bar Harbor, Maine. had fun. Okay, Zaphael, come on. Norton Plumbing. So let me see. Let me do this here. I don't want to do either one of those, but man, let's see if I can make it disappear here. See, it won't let me do it. I'll just do that. Come on. Jock the Med, master electrician in Wisconsin, mid 80s this week. Yeah. Anyway, I was up in what pulled me way off. All right, now I don't know where I'm at. Oh well, see, Zaphael, you do that again, I'm just going to block you from the channel. Hate to do that, but it won't just let me hide it. Timothy, you're right. I have not seen that. I'd tell you to go post it over on my subreddit, though, which is right there. Go post it over there. That way we can see it and we can all talk about it. Electrician in Connecticut. Yeah, I was up in Bar Harbor, had a blast. Norton Plumbing says, Georgia, small company owner, 101 in my driveway today. Weather says 90 right now, but weathermen are ignorant. And that's the truth. And I went to bed one day last week. It's still almost 100 degrees. I was like, man. Cheese in a can. Cheese in a can. I like that. Cheese in a can. Plumbing apprentice in Michigan, only 80 degrees today. Good for you. What part of Michigan? When I was an instructor in a union, I used to have to go up to Ypsilanti to Washtenaw Community College. Loved it up there. Okay, so we talked a little bit about networking. The next one is what we're doing right here at social media. And to grow your business, you need to do things that you can afford to do in the beginning. In the beginning, you got tons of time, you have no money. At least I didn't. I had nothing put up to start my own business. So what I did was I started networking, but also started trying to learn everything I could on social media, which at the time was really just Facebook groups. Once I had enough money to go learn social media, then what I did is started doing YouTube. And that was just over 4 years ago. So big deal there. And that really helped me grow. But learning social media is engaging with people. Don't just make a post and ignore it. Post it, and then when people reply or make comments, you're there to say something to them, and it can be a big deal. Timothy Waters says one of the softeners bursted and flush beads all through their system. They didn't want to pay over $500 to fix it. Got angry with me. Had to leave after he was screaming. And I get it. Know who your customers are and know who they aren't. It's funny because, man, when I teach people how to grow their business, they all say everybody's my customer. If they have a toilet, they're my customer. I said, well, what if they're broke? So, well, that might not be my customer. So, okay. What if they write hot checks? What if they're just going to give you a bad review no matter how good you are, how hard you try to take care of them? It's like, well, everybody's not my customer. So, well, a while ago you said they were. Man, know who your customers are. Donnie Links, more than welcome. Timothy Waters says an apprentice in Kentucky, about 97. Jake Ojok the Mad, a master electrician in Wisconsin, mid 80s. High Peak Homes says builder carpenter, Lake Placid, New York. High of 77. Man, that sounds amazing. Nate Starr says, hey, Roger, state licensed plumber in Northern Ohio. Have my own company and am a plumber at a hospital. Was a little relief in temperatures today, 80. It's been upper 80s and 90s, ready for fall weather. Okay, I love summertime. And I can handle fall. I can handle spring. I don't really like winter. So I think it's great. I can take the heat. We're talking about this because up in Maine the other day, I went hiking. Went on a 5-mile hike. We climbed up about 1,300 and something feet. I did this in plain white Adidas tennis shoes because I didn't carry any hiking shoes. Didn't have any. Cool thing about it though is it was only about 80, 82 degrees, and it was freaking beautiful. Abdul Kayumi says, Roger, you want to be my apprentice? Nope, I quit doing that about 40 something years ago. Neil Edward Johnson says, do you have any recommended routine maintenance to help keep a garbage disposal working well? Number one, just take a look at it every now and then. Use a cleaner. You can take some people complain. You can take those little pods that you use in a dishwasher, drop it down in there, hot water. Man, I've heard citrus. I've heard of a million different things. One of the coolest ones I ever heard was like the crystal drink or whatever, crystal whatever it is, the lemonade one. So get it in there, put it in there, let it run, let it get all in there, and then turn it off and let it set. So that the crystal, the citrus in there really does clean it well. Abdul, I'm not sure when I'm going to retire. I enjoy what I'm doing right now. I love the fact that I get to make social media, that I get to help people that way. So I don't know. I really do enjoy what I do. So at this point, I don't necessarily see any reason that I need to retire anytime soon. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Timothy Waters says, what's the leak detection you mentioned so much? Don't really know what you're talking about when you say it. I'm just looking for where water is coming from when I leak detect. I've got 3 different systems that I use. I use Leaktronics, I use Leak Pro, and I use subsurface leak detection. So those are the 3 that I use that really do help me out a lot. Derek Hess says, thoughts on expansion PEX. If you're talking like Uponor, I love it. That's really about the only kind of PEX I prefer to use. Norton Plumbing says he does underground, no dig type leak detection using microphones and sensors, stuff like that. I do leak detection under houses, out in yards, in swimming pools. With the right equipment, you can do things well. And yeah, it does work under the slab. Jane Rudolph, man, that's what I'm here for. I love it. Alpha Omega Plumbing Repair in Porter, Texas, master plumber, 32 years old, and now running my small company with wife and journeyman father. Thank you for all your advice. Yalixa Sacido, how are you doing? Thank you very much. Good to see you in here. Alpha Omega Plumbing in Porter, Texas. Good to have you in the house. Timothy Waters says, thanks, Norton. Ever heard about it, but I'm only a year and a half in. And here's the deal. What we've all got, we've all got things that we can specialize in. You may be the water heater specialist. It doesn't have to be slab leaks and leak detection. Become Crystal Light. Timothy, I just saw that. Thank you very much. It does not have to be that we all specialize in the same thing. We had somebody talk a while ago about being a med gas plumber. And you can specialize in med gas in your area, service every doctor's office, surgical clinic, dentist office, everything like that. You can make a great living. Raphael, you're okay. Look, I have no problem. I'm very careful about what I let in front of people. It's funny. I'm a plumber. How do I say it without saying it? There's a word for the fecal remnants that come out of people's body. And I said that in the beginning of a video because I read, hey, now in the first 30 seconds of your YouTube video, you can say the S word. And I think calling somebody a B. And in one of the videos, I said, look, today we're going to talk S about plumbing. And man, guy sent me a message, says, man, I let my son watch this. I don't like that. So I do. I try to think about what I'm saying and who I'm saying it to. Michael Taylor says, have copper from meter to the house. Had a leak in the copper. Should I change it to PEX? Okay, so we talked about that one a while ago. Crystal Light should clean it up. Man, I like this. High Peaks Home says, interview your customer harder than they interview you. And I'm not saying that you have to be, man, you just want to know, is this your customer? And I hate to say it, but guys, look, if people can't pay you, If some people are just grumpy and they're going to give you a bad review no matter what you do, is that really a customer you want? Because when I teach people how to grow their business, I teach them about networking. I teach them about relating to each other on social media. I teach them about making videos and owning it. And Zafael, look, I'm gonna use you as an example. I don't talk bad on my videos. I don't allow it in my chats. I don't do it on my videos at all. I don't smoke. I don't drink, which I don't smoke anyway. But there's certain things that I want my brand to be about. And I love this High Peaks Home. It says interview your customer harder than they interview you. Know who your customers are. Are these the customers you want to work with? Because the good thing is, as a company owner, you can choose who you work for and who you work with. I mean, look at this. Those of y'all that were here a while ago, a friend of mine, an old friend, called in the middle of a freeze where our phones, I said they were ringing 50 times an hour. It was probably 200 times an hour. And there's not enough plumbers in Dallas to take care of everything. And this friend says, look, I've got a family member that lives 60, I'm going to say 30 miles away. The roads are iced. Most of my guys stayed home. I'm trying to get out and take care of emergencies as close as I can. And when I called back, they didn't even answer. I'm sure they found somebody else. I get it. But now wants to come into my show a year and a half later and wear me out and say, look, I don't respect you at all. Okay, you don't have to. But we get to choose who we work with. And when I've got to look at possibly driving 30, 35 miles across town, I tried calling, she didn't answer. Man, what do you do? Well, the good thing is we have a chance to interview our customers and say, I want to work with you or I don't. And that's entirely up to you. Norton Plumbing says, Michael Taylor, depending on the type of leak. If the pipe is worn, replace the whole thing. If the pipe, find maybe a fitting broke, you may get away with a patch. And that's true too. But then again, if they patched one fitting, what if they did it to another? Well, once I start having leaks, I'm like, what can I do to fix this where I never have this problem again? That's the way I look at it. Abdul says, hey, Roger, there's been a lot of work for guys lately. Has it been slowing down? Oh, it's not slow. We need plumbers, electricians, roofers, and HVAC techs all across the country right now. I mean, guys, it's bad. We need help. Derek Head says, yeah, we just did a 4-story apartment complex with Sioux Chief and leaks everywhere. Never again. Recommendation, keeping garbage disposal working. Use lots of water. I completely agree. Jock the Mad says, building my electrical business, learn that customer service is key. Return phone calls and answer customer questions. Treat them well and your name will spread. One thing that we teach our guys, and Jock, you're right, it's such great information. One thing that we teach our guys is every house you walk in, treat them like it's like your mother or your grandmother. And if you will do that, man, it's phenomenal. If you treat people that good, treat them like their family. And it's really funny because we hired a girl. She's an HVAC tech for us down the street. And I ran into her the other day and asked her a question. She says, you don't remember me, do you? And I said, no, ma'am. She said, you came out to my mom's house about 5 years ago. You had just started your company. I said, okay. So we had a toilet and we couldn't get it unstopped and you couldn't get it unstopped. And I told you that my son had probably stuck something down in there and man, you couldn't get it. And I remembered. And she said, what you did is you looked at my mother and she said, look, we didn't have the money to blow at the time. It says that you told my mom, look, if she can change your toilet, just go buy a toilet and change it. It'll be cheaper. And I didn't even charge them for coming out that day. This is part of why she wanted to work with us, with our company later. Now, what are you doing to take care of your customers? What are you doing to make your phone ring? What are you doing to grow your business? I talk about networking. I talk about social media. I talk about making video. And the only other thing is SEO. Words are key. What words are you getting found for? I told somebody on Facebook a while ago, go over to YouTube and search plumbing. You'll find me. What words do you want to be found for? And is that going to help your business grow? Because I got to tell you, man, at the end of the day, that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to do the right thing and grow our businesses. Timothy Waters says, I was a chef for 8 years before plumbing, and I learned almost everything there is about cooking. I like being a jack of all trades, knowing almost anything I need to know for any situation I find. Man, I'm right there with you. I love to cook. So even when I'm at home, I want the best smoker, the best grill, the best everything. But also in my kitchen, a good knife set, a great knife set, knowing how to sharpen it, buying the best meat. Man, I'm right there with you. I get it. And he says, I like residential repair. I like rough ends, I like drain cleaning. I would like to know everything there is to know about plumbing. The neat thing is, and guys, look, I've been plumbing 42 years now, but I started out in commercial. Now I do residential service. Now I started commercial construction. So I've done commercial construction, commercial service, residential construction, residential service. I've done industrial. I've built some of the biggest industrial jobs. I've built a big hospital here in Dallas. Man, there's so many opportunities out there. I want to say hello to Joseph Lalibert. Good to see you in here. There's a guy on YouTube named James Butler. He runs a septic company in North Carolina, really loves his job. He's probably interview one time. I will, man, make sure I'm going to try to take a picture of that. Yeah, you might send me a message about that one just to make sure that I get it. I'll take a picture of it though, so maybe I'll remember. High Peaks Homes says surround yourself with good people and good things will happen. This includes your customers. Amen. Hugo Hernandez says, Lord, I hate doing house plumbing. I'd rather stick with commercial. And Hugo, see, I'm just the opposite. I love commercial plumbing. And, it's neat because as a plumber, I can drive down the street and point at buildings and say, yep, I built that, I built that, I built that. And I do. I love that. But at the end of the day, I think I love taking care of customers because, man, there's a lot of people out there screwing them over. So to me, that's a big deal too. Norton Plumbing says, got any recommendations for classes to take online to help dummies like me with social media? First of all, Norton, I would just tell you to watch YouTube. You can watch YouTube and learn how to do YouTube. I'm trying to put together some courses to help people on all of them, everything from networking to social media to video to SEO. So, stay tuned. It's stuff I'm working on, and hopefully we're going to get there. Safiel says, like to know more about the Sioux Chief leak issues. He hadn't had any. Michael Taylor says, already started the trench. Good for you. Abdul Kiyumi says, hey, Roger, don't mind me asking, why did you sell your company? And did you ever lose any passion for owning a company? No, I didn't. Actually, I love owning a company. I love the plumbing trade. And I truthfully think that what we get to do is just amazing. I sold the company because I was growing on social media so much and I didn't have time to do a lot of things I want to do. I was just talking about the courses a while ago. I'm working on courses. I want to teach people how to get in the trades. I want to teach people to become the very best freaking tradesman they could ever be, no matter what trade they're in. I want to teach them to start their own business and do it the right way. And I want them to learn how to make their phone ring. I want them to learn to grow. And to me, these are things that, man, it's going to make it worth it. I couldn't do all that while I owned and ran a company. So I started looking at getting out, but staying in. I mean, look, I still talk about plumbing. I still talk about all the trades. I don't have to be out in the field every day to do it, to be able to talk about it. I've done it for 40 years. Sexy B says, hi. Zafiel says, do you have any advice on cold line condensation other than insulation, and environmental conditioning. At least I know how to make it rain in the basement on humid days. Man, condensation is what it is. It's its own game. It's just something you got to play with and do. I don't know what kind of advice you're looking for, but keep it insulated and it won't drip if that's where you're headed. All right, guys, jumping back over into the forum real quick. Austin, man, says, do you work on well systems? I do not. And I wish I did because, man, people that drill and install wells, man, they do really, really good. What happens when you're fixing pipes and it bursts and poop goes flying everywhere? Well, I mean, you can probably imagine what happens. It gets in your eyes. It gets on you. That normally doesn't happen, though. But I have seen some stuff on TikTok and Facebook and everywhere else where people don't pay attention. And it does fly everywhere. Not good. Any recommendations for online classes to help me with social media? Okay, Zaphael. Okay, there you go, Joseph. I'm working on that. Go to hardware stores. Yeah, that works too sometimes. I would definitely tell you to look at a Chamber of Commerce, look at local networking groups, Master Networks. You can go to Master Networks TXC. That's the website for the networking company out in Central Texas and Houston, and it's phenomenal. Abdul says, I do see your passion in the trades. It's something for me to look up to. Thank you very much. Timothy Waters says, yeah, I like James Butler. Awesome dude, just a real and good person. I love that. You were saying I like going around and saying I fixed that. That feeling is even better in a small town like we work out of, probably less than 15,000 people. Lorenzo Crisculo says, I'll be replacing my main 4-inch sewer line from cast to ABS. Should I hire a plumber or drainage expert? Man, look, I've made videos teaching people how to do a lot of that. If it's something you think you can do your own and where you live allows it. Here in Texas, anybody can work on their own plumbing as long as it's their homestead and as long as they pull permits and get it inspected just like a plumber has to. Zaphael says, guess I need to work on insulation. Probably so. All right, so right now, man, I am caught up on questions. I love that. I'm going to take that off to show you where the subreddit is right there. So networking, if you've got your own company and you want to grow it, get out and start networking. Go to a Chamber of Commerce. Join a networking group like Master Networks. And I think I may actually have, where did I see that a while ago? I thought it was right over here. Maybe not. I thought I had a link in here. No, I thought I had one in here for Master Networks. Well, you can go to their Facebook. We've got a group at Master Networks Houston. Go over there and check it out. Yeah, guys, if you're in here, Zaphael, thank you. Man, give us a thumbs up. We do love what we're doing. We are having fun. But you can go to Master Networks TXC, check it out. It's what we're all about. Networking, though, build your network. Get out, talk to people about what you do. People will walk up to you if they know you're a plumber and say, man, here's a problem I'm having. You can become their trusted advisor. Carlos says, hey, Roger, about to get into the plumbing soon. What is some things I should have in the back of my head? Like some challenges or something along those lines. Like to build up from plumbing, maybe after a little while get into electricity. Here's what I tell you, and I told somebody earlier that's just getting in. Learn everything you can. Watch every video I got. Learn what we're talking about. Learn what we call things. Get the vernacular right. If you can talk plumbing with people, man, when you start doing electrical, it's going to be that much easier. Good questions today, guys. I got one or two more here, and then I'm going to get out of here. Abdul says, have the wages gone up for plumbers this year? Man, the wages go up every year, or at least they should. If you're in the trades and you're not making more money, you need to go talk to your boss because I'm telling you, Everything else is going up. Cost of living's going up. Everything's going up. What was the networking site you mentioned you own? Go to Master Networks TXC. Let's see if I can just find it right here. It might be the easiest way to do it. I know y'all love listening to me type. Okay, so it's right here. Copy and paste. See if that put it all in. So I'll put it in the YouTube and I'll put it over in StreamYard, which is the service that we use, guys, that God makes it easy for me to do a lot of things that I do. So that is that. Abdul says, Roger, would you ever hire anyone wearing a tuxedo? I think it'd be neat to have a plumbing company that was ran by people in tuxedos, meaning the plumbers go out dressed 5-star service. You charge $600-800 an hour and just say, hey, look, we're going to take better care of you than you've ever had taken care of you. And I really think people would say, hey, I want that. Hugo says, why is it that a lot of residential plumbers don't know about brazing and the types of copper? Hugo, man, I wish I could tell you that they weren't taught very well. Jimmy says, how much time do you put setting up cameras and filming on the job? Does it make your productivity plummet? Man, here's the thing is, with me not being the plumber that's actually coming out and do the work, I can just come out and say, hey, I want to set up and watch the dig crew. I want to set up and record my own leak detection. And when I'm doing stuff like that, I take a videographer with me. He sets up cameras. Man, I've got my leak detection equipment. And I just kind of walk around and look at what I'm doing. It's funny because I cleaned out my truck the other day. My leak detection equipment, I've got attachments built on it for an iPhone, for a GoPro, for a light. Man, I'm there to do it right. So I don't have a lot of time setting up unless I carry a videographer and want him to set up in certain areas. All right, guys, it looks like I got all the way down to the very end. So I want to say thank you, each and every one. I'll go back to my banners and remind y'all, jump over onto the subreddit and, join over there. Where's it? Facebook, man. I got a good Facebook group for tradespeople. Now, hey, this is one thing too. I still got 50-something people in here. This Saturday, if you're in Dallas, we are doing a networking event for plumbers, for electricians, roofers, and HVAC techs. If you're in Dallas this Saturday from 11 to 2, we will be at the truck yard. And I can't pull up anything on it, but what I can tell you is I'm going to be buying drinks and appetizers and stuff like that. Come down, I'll buy you a couple of drinks. It is at the truck yard in Dallas. I don't know. I think I got a Facebook group in here. Not that one. All right, maybe not. Anyway, if you're in Dallas, check me out on Facebook. I've got everything in there. Jump in here to save my last few people. Yeah, messages are a little behind. Sorry about that. But I think I learned to take care of the other contractors. Amen. That's a huge one. Messages are a little behind. Yeah, I'm a few seconds behind because my StreamYard got time to block stuff. Norton Plumbing says, damn right, Jock the Mad. I've been saved by a carpenter moving a wall 1/2 inch. Do you go bowling? And if so, do you think you could beat me? Yeah, I'm horrible at bowling. Yeah, not. Someone new to plumbing, be the best you can be. Tim Waters says, if it was your small company that you wanted to grow, would you be accepting to the idea, knowing what you knew then? How would I pitch that idea? I think everybody understands social media is the future. So I think that getting people in, teaching them that it is a big deal. Got Flow Right Plumbing from the UK just jumped in as we're fixing to try to get off. Offering drinks on YouTube. I just said I was buying drinks and food. It may be water and iced tea. It may be nachos. Maybe just hot dogs or something. Just saying. No, I see a comment over here, but there we go. Roger says, do you know a way to test if PEX RBC is not labeled? Thinking trying out 1-inch expansion fitting, but blue pipe doesn't have a label. Now, you need to know what it is. I don't know if we're hiring apprentices right now, but you can contact Rescue Air. Pops up over here every now and then. Contact Rescue Air or Texas Green Plumbing. Timothy says, thank you for everything. Have a great day. Guys, thank you. Omni PGA in Frisco. Yeah, it's coming. Guys, look, I have fun at what I do. I love the fact that I get to talk to y'all to tell y'all about networking, how to grow your network, how to relate socially, owning video. Man, you should, if you're in an area and there's not a lot of plumbing companies, you're a small area, something like that, start making videos, tell everybody in the world about that company. And then knowing what words to use. Talk about plumbing, talk about all kinds of things like that. So yeah, learn everything you can. Don't know who you need to text. Probably somebody up here. It said contact Rescue Air or Texas Green Plumbing. I'd call them, wouldn't text them. I get kind of serious when it's time to find a job. Anyway, guys, I hope that you had fun in here today. I hope that you learned something if that's what you're trying to do. If you're just in here to make fun of me, we got to do a lot of that too. If you have not done it yet, please give us a thumbs up. That lets YouTube know that you like what you found in here. And hopefully they'll share it with other people. So I hope y'all had fun today, guys. I do appreciate y'all being here. And I hope y'all come back next week if I'm here. I am here next week. In 2 weeks, I think I'm going on vacation. Anyway, thank y'all for everything you do. I do appreciate it. I'm Roger Wakefield, Lead AP, helping you make more money in the trades.